The Montreal Canadiens are in Nashville to take on the Predators. The last time these two teams met last week, Montreal beat them 6-3. Let's see if they can do that again. I doubt it with all the injuries. Hey, everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. So, like I said, Montreal is in Nashville. They met the other last week. Was it last Saturday? Anyway, they met last week. We won 6-3. And I don't know, can this team do the same thing? This is a very decimated team now, even since then, as Josh Anderson's out, Jeff Petry's out, although I don't know if we'll feel a difference with that. And Brendan Gallagher and Sami Niku are also still out, and I'm going to tell you all about it. And I've got a game preview for you. And, we'll talk hockey. So right now, I'll just say hi to everybody who might be here. Daryl Adams and Daryl asked Rick, with Petry out, could they put down in can they put down the road him on long-term injury reserve and get us the money for other defensemen? And of course, if he's going to be out for long-term, then he'll go out on long-term injury reserve. Not a problem. You could have a lot of guys on there if that's what happens. Julie, how's it going? David Arthur, hey David. Matt Duchesne, 4-1 Nashville. Awesome. Max Gunville, how's it going? Okay, so let's get into the news that I have. You know what I just realized? I forgot to play my my intro. Well, I'm going to play it now. It's time for the Talking Habs pregame show before every Montreal Canadiens hockey game. Previews, lineups, and the Guess the Score contest. Here's your hosts, Rick and Matt. Better late than never, right? Better late than never. All right, so first time I've ever forgotten to do that. So let's see what the news is. We'll start with this. So the Montreal Canadiens recalled forward Laurent Dauphin, although he's not in the game tonight, according to the lineups from Laval. That's because Josh Anderson left the game, Thursday's game against Colorado, early with a UBI, and he seems to be that it'll be out for 2 to 4 weeks. So Anderson out for a little bit, and they have Laurent Dauphin, but like I said, he's not in the lineup tonight. He's a scratch, so we'll see how that works out. Alex Romanov suffered a broken nose when he went into the boards. I think it was the second period. With Ryan Poehling and Cale Makar at the same time. Then there was a bit of a fight broke out. He almost got into a fight as one of the Colorado guys were going to take him on and then realized he had the broken nose. Excuse me. He left the ice. He came back later in the period, and he was wearing a cage. So he's apparently in the lineup tonight. He'll be wearing a cage, and I'm sure he'll be fine. So, like I also just said, Jeff Petry, not here in Nashville with the team. He is still in Montreal. He's out with an upper body injury, which is kind of weird since pretty sure he had a lower body injury and he was still in the lineup. So, again, they could put UBI, LBI. He's out indefinitely. No time limit for that, or timeline for that. Defenseman Corey Shenneman's been called up from Laval, but also not in the lineup. So I find that funny, but not in the lineup. That's that one. And then we have this, because there's two more stories. So I put this up the other day, right? Brendan Gallagher, defenseman Sami Niku, entered NHL's COVID-19 protocol list. And then they got retested, and the test came back positive. So they are both positive with COVID-19 and are in a 10-day quarantine. So they'll be out for the next week and a half. And then we got the news that there was a defenseman from the LA Kings that was put on waivers yesterday, and then, everyone was saying Montreal should pick him up. They were surprised because he was playing on their power play as a quarterback, and like 11 games. He had 5 points in 11 games, and that is Cale Clegg. Cale Clegg, Montreal did claim Cale Clegg, and the funny story on that, so the Montreal Canadiens have claimed defenseman Cale Clegg off waivers from the LA Kings. I've got a video out today. I talk about it in the video that I was waiting to kind of hear. I couldn't wait long for the because it comes out like 2 p.m. I was doing the video in the morning, so I couldn't wait for it. And then Matt, who is off today, he was watching the video after it was released, obviously, and he said as he was watching that part, he got a notification on his phone that Montreal had claimed Clague off waivers. So I thought it was pretty funny. Anyway, so we have Clague. This is a little bit what he is. Let's see. He is a left shot defenseman, so he's a left side defenseman. He's 6 feet, 177 pounds. Not small, not big, but he's good enough size, that's for sure, I think. 33 games in the NHL, 11 assists so far. He hasn't really taken off yet in the NHL. He is a offensive-minded defenseman, I think. I don't know. I've seen both, that he's a stay-at-home, but I think the stay-at-home thing was like a joke thing. So he is a puck mover. He can move the puck. He can play on the power play. I think it's what Montreal needs. Jeff Gorton obviously understands that, and his first move as the head of the Montreal Canadiens is to pick up Kale Clague off waivers at a time when Montreal needs some defensemen. He isn't in the lineup tonight because obviously they did that today. Hasn't had time to get here. I would imagine Monday he should be in the lineup, or at least he'll be with the team. So that's the news today. Kale Clague. We'll see if that helps Montreal at all. There is more news. Excuse me. Okay, we'll get to him anyway. Mike Hoffman makes his return tonight in the lineup. So we'll go through the lineups in a second. We're going to do the preview in just a second. I'm going to say hi to the new people that are in the room. Let It Ride Sports. Need a Habs win tonight. Yes, because they're going to be in tough tonight. Liam Gilks. Still going with the Habs. Hey, guys. Matt's not here Saturday. I gotta change the opening for so it just says me, but yeah, Matt's not here on Saturdays. Yukon, how's it going? Lecky's on first line, by the way, from what I remember. First line left wing. Let's get this win. Yeah, listen. They're in tough tonight. The AJ Fed, the Preds have no injuries. So they're a healthy team. They were going to want revenge for the last time that we played. And, yeah, this is not actually an AHL team, but, I mean, they were not much better than Montreal's AHL team, if you ask me, from the lineup. So we'll see how it works out. I wouldn't be surprised if Montreal wins. I've seen weirder things happen, and you never know. So, hey, why not give us some excitement? Lucas, not excited for another loss, but I'm expecting it, and I'll just try to have fun with the game today. So let's go through my preview, which is a little earlier today. If you notice, 5 o'clock instead of 6. It's Saturday. On Saturdays, I'm going to try to do the pregame show at 5. Give it a little extra time to percolate. So the game tonight is Montreal, 6-17-2, 14 points, 7th in the Atlantic, against and at the Nashville Predators, 12-10-1, 25 points, 5th in the Central. If you're betting tonight, the spread, if you're taking Montreal, plus 1.5, that gives you minus 135. Taking Nashville, it's minus 1.5, and it gives you plus 115. The money line, Montreal, plus 190, Nashville, minus 230. Over-under is 5.5. The over gives you minus 115, and the under gives you minus 105. How to watch this game. Start time 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. In Canada, it's on CTV, Sportsnet East in English, and TVR Sports in French. In the U.S., NHL Network in the Predators region, Bally Sports South. Streaming legally, ESPN Plus, NHL Live, and Sportsnet Now. And if you can't do that on Sport Surge, accomplish that. That's Sport Surge. Last time these two teams met was November 20th. And so a little longer than last week, I guess. Predators lost to Montreal 6-3. And I think they'll probably, since they're at home, they're going to want, revenge. So it's going to be a tough game for Montreal. Last 10 games for each team. 2-7-1 for Montreal on a 2-game losing streak. 5-5-0 for Predators on a 1-game losing streak. Tail of the tape. Scoring chances 4%, 48.9% for Montreal, 21st in the league, 49.6%, 18th for the Predators. Goals per game, 2.24 for Montreal, 29th, 2.74 for Nashville, 23rd. Goals against per game, 3.56 for Montreal, that's 29th, and 2.83 for Nashville, 14th. Power play percentage, 13 even, 13%. What an awesomely bad power play. For Montreal, 29th, 24.6% for Nashville at 7th. They got a good power play. PK percentage, 69.3%. God awful for Montreal, 30th, and 78.4 for Nashville. That's 23rd, and that's average, mediocre, average. Head-to-head, so far this season, Montreal, 1 win, 1-0-0, and Nashville, 0-1-0. And in the face-off circle, Montreal is 48.4%, 23rd. Nashville, 50.2% and 13th. Goalies tonight. Jake Allen has been confirmed by Coach Dom. He's 5-11-1, 296 goals against, and a 907 save percentage with 2 shutouts. On the other side, I really don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised to see David Riddick in there, but I don't know what's going on with the goalies. So I'm going to go with Saros, 10-8-1 with a 234 goals against and a 923 save percentage and 1 shutout. I did not see confirmation for the goalie for them. And players to watch, last 5 games. Josh Anderson for Montreal, not in the game tonight, 4 points, also 3 goals with that 4 points. Alex Romanov, 2 assists. And Christian Dvorak up +2 in the 5 games, and those numbers are just anemic. For Nashville, Peter Forsberg, 8 points. Also Forsberg, 6 goals. Granlund, 5 assists. And Carrier, +4. Team leaders, when I find my cursor. Team leaders in goals, Anderson for Montreal, 7 goals. Matt Duchene for Nashville, 13 goals. Nick Suzuki, 15 points, and that's been about 5-6 games that I've been saying Nick Suzuki, 15 points. And in those 5-6 games, no one's been able to catch him. So it says a lot for their offense. Michael Granlund for Nashville, 25 points. Average ice time on ice, Petrie, 23-21. He will not play tonight. And Roman Josi for Nashville, 24-48. And wins Jake Allen because he's been playing basically all the games, 5 wins. And UC Saros, 10 wins on that side. This is called the current line. The away record for Montreal, 2-9-1. Home record for Nashville, 7-5-0. Record versus the spread, Montreal 9-16-0. Nashville 11-11-0. Record versus over-under, Montreal 13-12-0. Nashville 10-12-0. Versus each other as opponents in the last 3 seasons. Montreal 1-1-0, and the same thing for Nashville. Last 10 games I gave. Last 10 games versus spread. Montreal 4-6-0. Same with Nashville. And last 10 games versus over-under. Montreal 5-5-0. Nashville 6-4-0. Here's the lineups. Montreal's lineup. Nick Suzuki centering Lehkonen and Toffoli. Ryan Poehling centering Drouin and Armia. Dvorak in between Hoffman and Caulfield. And Perreault in between Pezzetta and Evans. Sherratt and Kulak as number 1 pair. Romanov and Savard, number 2 pair. And Norlinder and Weidman, number 3 pair. Jake Allen and net. Montembeault backing them up. Scratched, Paquette, Dauphin, and Sheneman. Injured, Petrie upper body. Josh Anderson upper body. Edmondson undisclosed. I hear it's his back. And COVID protocol, Brendan Gallagher and Sami Niku. On the Preds side, Michael Granlund centering Forsberg and Duchene. Johansson centering Tolvanen and Kunin. Sisons centering Trennan and Jeannot, or Ginot, however you want to pronounce that. Novak centering Cousins and Tomasino. First pairing is Josi and Fabro. Ekholm and Carrier, second pairing, and Borowiecki and Benning, third pairing with Saros and nets. Riddick backing them up. Scratched is Ben Harper and Philip Myers, and they have no injuries. Lucky team with no injuries. Okay, let's get back to you guys. Where was I? Hey, Filibuster, how's it going? Love the 5 thing. Old people got to get that out of the way while the sun is still what? Well in memory. What are you talking about? The 5 thing. I'm missing you on that. You got to the 5. I don't even know what you're talking about. Last 5 games, players to watch. What are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Maritime, how's it going, buddy? Weidman first goal. Interesting. Could be Weidman costs us the first goal. We'll see which one that is. Anybody see the replay of a former defenseman, PK? They're calling him Sluban now with his latest slew foot, saying, is that a slew foot or not? It's a slew foot. Man, that guy's just throwing them all season. I don't know why I thought of that, mentioning Weidman, but that's because my brain just works in a funny way. So, not a lot of interest tonight, I see, or is that because I'm on at 5? I'm usually on an hour before. A lot of people might not realize that, but just figure that unless it's a different time for a start, and I believe all the games this month are 7 o'clock starts. Yeah, Saturdays I'm going to be on at 5. It's a weekend. I just figure it gives, hopefully it's not working out today. Hopefully gives, some extra people or just some different people a chance to get in on the pregame show. Don't know, but I'm giving it a try. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Eric says he hopes we get our limit tonight. 1 or 2 goals. That seems to be our limit. Yeah, last time against Nashville, though, we got 6. Nashville's actually a decent defensive team. They weren't the last game, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Hey, Andre, how's it going? So, yeah, we'll see what happens. It wouldn't shock me to see that maybe Montreal pulls it out in a situation like this for some reason. What did I liken it to? Second game of the season against Buffalo. They had basically an AHL roster, and they just kicked our ass. Now, it turns out Montreal just wasn't very good, and I get that, but I'm just hoping it's like that. It probably won't be. Expect a loss, be prepared for the loss, and then if they win, wow, all that much better. That's basically my game plan for every game of the rest of this season, I think. So what do you guys think of the move, picking up Cale Clegg off of waiver wire from the LA Kings? I think it's a good move in that the guy's making like $760,000. It's nothing. There's no risk. We need defensemen. We need puck-moving defensemen, and he's on the left side. I mean, I think it's a plus all the way along. He hasn't seemed to fit in with LA, but maybe change of scenery, and and it's a different story here, right? So we'll see what happens. But I'm kind of I'm happy that to see the Gorton's first move as the guy in charge right now, right, making those decisions is to recognize something that we've all been screaming about for how long, about this lack of puck-moving defensemen on this team. And that's kind of the first move that he makes. It's, it's a timing thing. It's what was there. But, at least he recognizes it, I think, anyway. And it's good to see. Hey, Habs Guru, how's it going? By any chance, you didn't get the hat yet, eh? I'm just curious. I ordered something from BC Wednesday. And, it's already in town. I'm going to get it on Monday. But it was coming out of Richmond, so I think depending on where you are. Yeah, I'm just curious if you got the hat, though. Moonlight Cyborg says, good move. He looks like he's getting better, and he's only 23. It's nothing. He's only 23, was drafted 51st overall in 2016, so the second round. No package yet? Yeah, sorry, but yeah, I can't help that. So the second round, he's got 5 points already in this this season in 11 games. So it doesn't make him last on the defenseman already. I think he's got 3 power play points as well. So I think now if he's on the roster, he leads the team for defensemen in power play points, I think. If not, he's right up there. Could signal Norlinder being sent back to Sweden once some bodies come back. Norlinder is in the game, as you saw, and he's in the lineup. So we'll see. I'm wondering, with all these injuries and stuff, how is the coach going to play all the young guys like 5 minutes a game and whatever? He's not going to be able to, because then all the vets are going to be just gassed. But I wonder if we're going to see the vets get overplayed even in a game like this where there's a lot of young guys in the lineup. New GM paying dividends in a small way so far. Yeah, that's what you want to see, right? He, like if another team got him, and that would have been like the Islanders or Ottawa, right? We wouldn't have known whether he put in a claim or not. But at least this way, we did find out right away. He put the claim in. He got the player. He's, this is the kind of moves you got to expect from him. Hey, hockey fan guy, how's it going? I'm hoping we send Norlinder to Sweden League sooner rather than later. Keeping him in Montreal and barely playing him isn't helping. I agree. If they're going to keep him here, play him. Play him proper amount of times, minutes, not just 9 minutes or 6 minutes or 10 minutes. Play him a lot. Hey Rick, do you know if Clegg is able to play today? Given he's not playing. Given we play in Nashville and he doesn't have to quarantine. He's not with the team, so unless that lineup I've got was before they got the news that they have the player. Yeah, I don't know. I imagine that if he's there in the States, there won't be any quarantine. So I guess. But then being with a team he hasn't been with, there might be a quarantine thing there. I don't know. Maritime says, shit's going to change to develop young players, though, so I would send anyone anywhere. Well, I think we're going to – I don't know if it'll be that, but I think we're going to that's not – hey, wait a second. Petty, who's the fat one? I'm overweight. You calling me – that's not fair. You say that about Gorton? That's really not fair. We try not to body shame anybody. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of movement. Well, who knows? I just don't think they're just going to send people. I don't think he's the kind of guy who's going to send people everywhere hilly-nilly. It's going to be, I hope, good deals. Hear the quietness now after those last comments there? There's no body shaming here. Geez, did we lose everybody on that? Because that's it. I think I went through everything. There wasn't a ton. Usually on Saturday, there's not a lot of news. But except all bad. Injury stuff. None of it's good. All right, been abandoned by the chat. Hockey fan guy. That's what happens when there's change like that. But I like what I saw from Gorton. Yeah, I was expecting somebody different, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that he looks like a real team kind of player. Hey, Blue Bark, how's it going? Petty says also, I don't know why Habs fans are so pissed off at him coming to Montreal, because he's American. Like, the GM is not American. He will be Canadian. Yeah, there's a lot of There's that fan that threw the jersey. He talked on radio. Yeah, we have a mental institution here called the Douglas. I think that guy needs a bit of a stay there. So, yeah, I mean, he's getting they're like getting flack because he's American. That Molson picked an American guy, like, so maybe this workaround of the French GM or whatever might not end up working after all. We'll see. We'll see what kind of flack comes of it. Yeah, Eric, they were just pressured, kind of trying to pressure him about Patrick Roy. Like they're going to change his mind at the press conference and go, you know what? You guys convinced me. Yeah, I'm going to hire Patrick Roy. Like that was going to happen. Idiots. Sorry, but that's what they are. Something wrong with the press corps here, and not just the French, not just the French. Some of the English questions too. I mean, it's just like, guys, like, where's Red Fisher when you need him to ask a freaking question? But Petty, come on, the Leafs had one, okay, but that's Toronto. They don't care about the English stuff, obviously. So that's all. That's all it is. It's the bias of the French media that's causing that. No, Blue Bark, we didn't make a trade. Picked up a guy on waivers, a puck moving defenseman. Hockey fan guy, yeah, I don't know about that, but like I don't know how his ego and all that. I don't know how he's going to work in tandem with a GM. I don't see it, and it's not going to be Patrick Roy. Gordon didn't want to say that. He couldn't really say that. And I read into it myself that he's kind of was being polite about it and all that, and just saying like, really, no, because when he says he's looking a little outside the box to find the guy, Patrick Roy is not outside the box, not really. So, kind of might say right there that yeah. I mean, I'll listen to him and I'll look at him, and I'm not. That's not where I'm going. Like even my video from I guess yesterday or the day before, like I might have got it wrong. I think he might be actually looking at and more likely to take a guy like a player agent, next player agent, a next player who hasn't had any experience yet either. Someone like that, then going after a guy like Martin Madden or Matthew Darsh. So I can see why a guy like Daniel Briere would actually be, like they said, was in the like at the head of the pack because he hasn't had the experience. He's not working for a team in that capacity right now. He's a bit of a fresh mind in this and all. I can see that's the reason why. So yeah, so where Daniel Briere was on top of the list, yeah, I could see him still being there. But you got to move a couple of guys up there, like a couple of the player agents, Pat Brisson maybe, who was a friend of Mark Bergevin's, who, the player agents have a ton of connections. They know so many people, and that's the kind of guy you want almost, So I think we might get a bit of a surprise on who he names as his GM. And then at that point, if it is one of those kind of guys, yeah, then the arrows are going to come out again, and we'll see what happens with that. He takes a risk, but yeah, I want him to put in place who he feels like I'm going to trust in him till there's a reason for me not to. Habs Guru, exactly. That's kind of what I was just saying, right? That I'm going to trust in him as he has a track record. I'm not so won over like, oh, I'm in awe of his track record. He has a track record. It's a good one. It's not a super awesome, fantastic, super delicious track record. It's just, but he's he knows his hockey. He's a good judge of people and talent. And I like when he said his teams are fast and skilled. That's what we want to see here. And yeah, I like what I heard from him. McDavid traded to Habs for rest of team. Might be able to play better than what we got here tonight. We'll see. Blue Bark, yeah, I think Raw would be a disaster, and quite frankly, I'm confident that Gorton knows this, and Gorton is not considering Patrick Roy. That's my opinion. Will he say that publicly? Not till he makes his decision, but no, he's not going to say that publicly. Oh, Franco, awesome, and welcome in. Happy birthday to the Montreal Canadiens. They're 112 years old today. I don't know how I didn't know that. Pavlo, but I think outside the box, Madden's not outside the box, but someone, and I hadn't thought of it. I don't think anyone's mentioned it. I saw somebody mentioning it today that maybe hire Madden to replace Trevor Timmons. Development and scouting, that's his thing. So maybe that's, I could see that. I don't know if Madden would want to change from what he's doing with Anaheim to do that here, but he might. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. I mean, I really don't know. Pablo, no, I'm pretty sure he won't forget toughness. I'm pretty sure. I hope not. Do I think Carey Price gets traded? Hockey fan says he doesn't think so. I kind of do, but I've heard a lot of good points to make a case for why they wouldn't. And until we really know what direction they're going in, it's hard to say now. So I've said, yeah, I think so, but I don't know at this point. I've heard some really good cases for keeping him through this short or long rebuild. I don't know. Eric, good point. Eric says this current team is playing like they're 112 years old. They kind of are. And with all the injuries, they're kind of like, they are like they're 112 years old. Every day there's another injury. It was two of them for today, sort of. So I don't know how many more guys could go down, but it's taxing the Laval team, and the ECHL team's got to feed Laval. So, yep. Oh, we ran out. Yeah, there's some people here in the room. Surprised. There we go. Give a thumbs up if you're having a good time. I'd appreciate that. Oh, went to the wrong place. Hey, Adamy, how's it going? Fast and skilled reminds me of Gianta Gomez Camilleri days. Yeah, it's funny. It's not where my brain goes, but I mean, I guess I'm a different age, so. Poor Laval. No, that's what they're there for, right? They suffer a little bit. When guys go back, then they'll be good again. It's not a big deal. Habs take it 5-2. You guys are really optimistic tonight. I'm really surprised, but you know what? Hats off to you guys for being more loyal than I am. I really got to think that this is a bit of a revenge game. Nashville playing a little bit better, not greatly better, but they're at home. I got to think it's going to be Nashville. As far as the score goes, yeah, it's probably more like 5-2 for Nashville for me. But my guess doesn't count, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to hang on for about another 5 minutes. Then I'm going to be gone for a little over an hour and 20 minutes, and back with the game at 7 o'clock. Habs Guru, they won. It's a little more than last week. It was the 20th of November, so it's longer ago than I remember, but it is. And it's kind of a revenge game for Nashville. To they're at home. They don't want to lose again to Montreal. So. Eric, I've seen some good reasoning I mean, just think of this here, right? So say they do build a good, young, fast, skilled team. You pair that up with Carey Price at the top of his game, and that's a really interesting team. So I mean, there's some argument for it, but I think if Price was making say 6.5, 7 million, yeah, I think hanging on to him is a legitimate thing to say. Yeah, we can hang on to him at 10.5 million on a rebuilding team. I don't know. It'll be a rebuilding team. They're probably going to make a lot of room as far as salary goes. So maybe they can afford it and they'll say, yeah. And if Price says, well, I really want to stay. If he says, I want to stay, then there's no choice because he's got a no movement clause. So he'd have to waive either way. So we'll see. It's going to all be up to Price, whether Price wants to stay through this or not. I think it just comes down to that. If Price says, well, I'd like to win a cup, I really would, then, you move him somewhere where he has that chance. Eric, yeah, Allen stands on his head a lot of games. But, yeah, Allen was a big reason, I believe, why. Was it Allen or – no, it was Montembeault, if I'm correct, against the Preds last time. Somebody check that? I'm thinking of Montembeault after the 3 goals Duchesne got. Like, we were really concerned, and he kind of shut the door again. And I'm thinking Montembeault. Yeah, Hockey Fan Guy. No, I get it, but we did win in Montreal. They're going to be in Nashville. I think that makes a bit of a difference. And then the revenge game factor thing, I think it makes enough of a difference. But we'll see. I hope they win. I always hope Montreal wins as a fan watching the games. I just don't know. I don't know. They're going to be tough. Hockey Fan Guy agrees. So it was Montembeault last Predators game. I thought so. I did think so. Oh, Allen's been standing on his head most games he plays, Eric. So I think they all just run into one another. He's pretty consistent, Allen. There's not. I think he had one bad game this year. Maybe that's it. He's let in a couple of bad goals. Really, a lot of the bad goals are the defense really lets him down. So I think Allen's been pretty good. Did I see people talking about Emily Castonguay as GM? Would be an interesting move having a female GM. Apparently, she's Lafreniere's agent too. Yeah, no, there's a few women's names. I don't know. I don't know if the league's ready for a female GM. And it's not to say that they can't do the job. I'm not saying that. It's whether we'll see that actually happen yet. I don't think so. So I just don't think so. It'll happen one day, though. It will. Habs are in the same boat as the Rangers a few years ago with keeping or taking Lundqvist. Yeah, no, listen, that's right. Right? And then they let him go at some point. Yeah, I think that's what you got to kind of do here. You see, Coach Rick, hey, I got on the ball. Smart as a rock, literally. We'll see. I think we're going to start calling him Alzner 2.0 and just leave it out there. That's what it is. Alzner 2.0, just a little bit cheaper by $1 million. And yeah. So this is, what does he call it? That's a poor man's Alzner 2.0 because he's $1 million cheaper. I guess that's how you call it. And you can imagine a poor man's Alzner 2.0 or just a poor man's Alzner does not sound like a good player. And we got him. Aren't we lucky? Really, aren't we lucky to have him? Just a blessing. It makes you wonder with what he said, Gordon, in his conference when it was asked about him and liking to have local players on the teams that he runs. And he said he definitely wants local players. I like the fact that he didn't go to saying French players. He said local players. And that's a huge difference because there's a lot of Montrealers in the league that aren't French. And just because you are a local player doesn't mean you're French. So I'm glad that he didn't go that way. I do know this, though. The reporters that asked him about it, when they said local players, they meant French players. To them, a guy who's English is not a local player. Doesn't matter if he comes from next door to the guy. If he's English, not a local player. He must come from somewhere else. Because a lot of the French people in Quebec, they're all from here originally. Yeah, originally. They're all from here. None of them came from elsewhere. Yeah, right. Idiots. So did I say that? Oh, I said that out loud, didn't I? Sorry. He was third pair with Tampa. Yeah, I know. He won a cup. That's why he's French and he won a cup. And then he said, you know what? Let's throw 4 years at this guy. We'll show that premier at Quebec how serious we are. Yeah, Maritime, mediocre at best. That's about right. I almost was mediocre, if ever. Is he even that? I don't know. Some games he's mediocre. Some games he's actually like half decent. Just half decent, though. And then most of the time he just, they can just put out an orange pylon and do just as good a job. Eric, politics should stay out of sport, but there's nothing wrong with getting local players, right? Local players. Every team should want to have some local guys on the team. It's great for attendance. But, yeah, it shouldn't be based on language. But, of course, it's Quebec. Everything's based on language. Welcome to Quebec, Jeff Gordon. Yep. That's how she works. All right, I'm going to take off because it was that time. I got to go walk my dog because I started early, and I got to feed the dog. So, yeah, I need some time, and I'll be ready for the 7 o'clock show. So please don't forget, show's at 7 for the game. Thanks for being here, everybody. Really appreciate it. As always, this fun conversation. And hopefully we'll have a fun game. I don't know if that's going to be the case. It could still be very painful, but we'll make the best of it. And you never know. Miracles do happen, and we might actually win the game tonight. So let's see if they can repeat against the Predators like the last game, and we'll see what happens. So thanks for being here, everybody. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's snowing out. I know. It's going to be fun, but it's not too bad. Really appreciate it. Thanks. Stay safe out there in the snow for the next hour and 15 minutes, and I'll be back. And peace out, everybody. See you in a bit. Bye, y'all. And where's my mouse? There it is.